Hey, hey.
Alright, let's crack into it. Good morning, everyone. Hope we're doing okay. Monday morning here. Spring in the charts. So Monday morning. First thing to talk about, of course, is Sunday evening gap down into failed breakdown. So let's just touch on that real quick. And the regularity with which this occurs recently has been fantastic, and it's pretty close to a 100% trade. So if you're not trading Sunday evenings, I would definitely make that part of your routine. A little bit of a slower one to trigger, and actually maybe last Sunday's was kind of similar. It didn't trigger in the first half hour. It took a bit, took an hour and a half, maybe a couple of hours, and it was one of those, if you weren't kind of on the screen when it finally popped through that 65.92 level, it popped pretty quick. For me, I was on the screen, so that was fortunate in that respect. But yeah, I know there were a lot of people in the Discord kind of scrambling back to their screens to take that trade. What were your thoughts on that one, Mike? It was pretty nice, huh?
Yeah, pretty straightforward there. I outlined it in the Discord in the sense of we had some nice type 1 acceptance that had kind of been forming over the course of quite a bit of time there last evening, with a few rejections essentially near that 92 shelf area. And then finally, we ended up getting a little bit of momentum right off of the Asia Open. So, you were good just to kind of, long it. So once we had that acceptance present, you don't need to wait for anything else. You just really need to wait for some momentum to show up, and we got that right off of the Asia Open at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, cool. Sorry, I'm having some minor tech issues trying to get my pen up and running here, but I'll have to forego that. Yeah, so I mean, just looking at just look at that. I'm just stepping down the time frames to kind of show that push up through it, how quickly it happened. You kind of have to see it down on 2 or 5 minute. See multiple attempts to return to the level dip, and then just push through. But that push through happened within a couple of minutes when it did finally go. So that sets us up nicely into today. Get the chart back in the right window here. So 15-minute on the right as usual now, 4 hour on the left. Just real quick on big picture stuff, we are actually have actually broken out a little bit above this channel that we've been trading in for the last several weeks and more. So it'll be really interesting to see if we can hold above this this trend line here on the 4 hour. I think the level on that right now is, well, on my chart at least, it's right around kind of this 66, 15, 20 level, something like that. Kind of right where the London session lows are, this little green tiny little shelf here that we've got. So trade plan for today, obviously hold runners. For anyone not in a runner, we've got now new structure here at 65.95. Would you trade that now over the 65.92 level, Mayank?
Yeah, I mean, ideally now, if you're to flush both and reclaim, I think that ends up being a pretty valid a trade option if you're looking to trade. And then below there, we have that 67 low, which is essentially the low from last night. That you can now also I would add as a valid trade is that would essentially stop out the field breakdown that occurred last night, and we'd all be flat. So if that were to happen, that's kind of the main watch for today.
Yeah, sorry, I can't get the pen up and running right now, but those are the two key levels to watch for. For me personally, I'm actually flat because I traded the failed breakdown, and then I've been running a slightly different runner strategy recently where I'm just taking off at a good target above. And for me, that was right around this 66.30 level, just because I think I mentioned it before, trading a little bit of a smaller account, and it's sort of beneficial for me to bank some of those. So yeah, I'm not doing anything today unless we get down to, first of all, 95 or this 67 beneath that. Apologize if there's any questions in the chat. Tech issues is preventing me from seeing all that this morning. So
1 sec, I can take a look. Let me see.
if we do flush that 65, 67 level, it's quite a ways down for much of interest. I guess the nice thing about the 67 low, off the open last night, we do have the confluence pretty close to Adams 65, 63 level. So yeah, that adds a little bit to the quality of that one. But beneath there, it's a good long leg down until 65.05 really would be the next level of interest for me, which was Thursday's low. So those are the three key ones.
Someone just said just broke 66.24. But besides that, no questions.
Sorry, what about 66.24?
Someone said we just broke it.
Yeah, there is a very low quality one, I think, up here. This London session low at 66.14, but it did form a little bit of a shelf for maybe a couple of hours in here, and then right at London Open lifted off of that. So that may just pass the sniff test. Trouble with this one is we've got this 66.19 low above it, so it's not very attractive, but there is perhaps something there.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, so I would say ideal game plan. Hopefully, everyone was able to catch that last night. And if so, you can kind of essentially just kind of be on relax mode for now. And if you haven't, then kind of like we pointed out, there's the 95 and the 67 that are pretty decent spots below us. I personally will only be looking to trade the 67 since I've already had my trade done for the session. So I won't re-engage in 95, but it is obviously a good option for those that are looking to maybe trade again or didn't get a chance last night. So for me personally, the 65, 67 though, I would definitely look to play that if we sell down into that.
Nice. Just on the big picture news front, yeah, we got Trump's deadline tomorrow, so it may be that just things slow down until then. We'll see what happens. Obviously, that can pop in. Then there's, I think, FOMC minutes tomorrow. One thing I've never paid attention to in my life, but I think I will this week, is oil inventories on Wednesday. So watch out for that. And then I think there's a couple of other things later in the week, a couple of other potential big news events. So yeah, with that, let's see what the open brings. Hopefully we get some volatility in here, or for those holding runners, we just continue to grind on higher. All right, guys.
Sounds good.
Thanks, everyone. Catch you in the Discord. Any plans for Q&A sessions this week, Mike? Maybe you're doing Tuesdays and Thursdays tentatively?
Yeah, we'll do 2 this week. Like I said, we're gonna continue doing 2 a week. Yeah, probably tomorrow. I think Tuesday ends up being a good time to do it first, just because we have, Sunday night, Monday, and Tuesday, a couple of days to kind of recap and kind of go over, rather than if I did it today, I don't, there isn't a ton to go over besides just one trade at the moment. So
Yeah, sounds good. And if I wasn't able to make your one on Thursday, but if I am there, I'll record them and post them for everyone if you can't make
yeah,
them. And equally, if you can't make it, feel free just to post your question in the chat. I'm sure it will get answered there, but we can also talk about it on the call. All right, thanks everyone. Open in just a few minutes here, so we'll catch everyone in the Discord. Cheers. Bye for now.